Right, very good morning again. What's in this video? Well, this video is to the Financial Conduct Authority where I have an account. It's also to the Prudential, and what I want to talk about is this. In 2017, I lived in West Denton in Newcastle upon Tyne. And back then, I worked as a driver for a bus company. And there was a thing a long, long time ago where I was introduced to cryptocurrency. And here's the difference. Okay? There is a difference. Fiat currency and digital currency. Let me explain. Fiat currency, yeah, that is your £5 notes, plastic. Remember, there used to be paper, plastic. Now, so you got £5 notes, £10 notes, £20 notes, and if you are lucky enough, you get £50 notes. Okay? So that is GBP, British pound sterling. But digital currency is the king, Bitcoin, or as I like to call it, BTC. Then the second largest is Ethereum. And there are many more after that. So what I want to tell you about is this. 2017, I created a Coinbase account. Now back then, you'd pump in your details and you would take a photograph, etc., show me driving license to verify who you are and where you live to prove you're not a robot. Robot. But something happened. And when that something happened, yeah, on my Facebook pages, there is a new thing, which is this. At FCA capital Smartscam. Okay? You can find this all over social media. And it is to stop people being scammed. Now, regulations came in, and this video is completely about the difference. Okay? So, way back in 2017, before there was any rules and regulations, the other side of the pond, the Atlantic Ocean, there was a guy who actually taught people at a university. He was a lecturer. And this person taught people about money. His name, Gary Gensler. And he got the top job at the Securities and Exchange Commission. But he didn't like things within crypto. He basically forced a lot of good companies from the United States offshore. And that's important. Very, very important. So, back then in the day, 2017, I came across something that was called the Waves Exchange. And back then it was a DEX, decentralized exchange. So it wasn't centralized. No, it was outside. And you could do something phenomenal. You could trade. You could also, if you wished, create. Now, how I did it way back then was this. I would buy Ethereum from Coinbase. Not a lot, no. And this is a clue. I'd spend up to £50 GBP. Sometimes it wasn't 50, it was below, but it was always within £50. I want you to remember that, okay? Because of the change. Now, back then, I was doing my videos as I normally do, and I was sharing screenshots, videos where I've got the mobile, which I'd normally have in my hand, and I'd show you the screen. Yeah? However, right now, my mobile, the battery's flat, so you haven't got it, it's on charge. But let me just explain something to you. Back then, in 2017, I'm buying into digital currency, i.e. Ethereum, which is the second largest cryptocurrency in existence. And back then, its price was well low. Not anymore, but we'll get back to that. So, on Waves Exchange, it went through an expansion. Waves turned into WX, and it'll no doubt change again. But here's one thing for you. Back then, Her Majesty was still on the throne. Charles had not become the king. Okay? And the rules and the regulations did not exist. You could do what you want. And what I used to do was, there's a section in WX, or back then, the Waves Exchange, where you could stake money into that exchange, and we're talking pennies. Yeah, So you had, say, 30 or 40 pounds worth, you were getting a lot of pennies. Yeah? Do you follow? So back then, this is what happened. I would create something called an ERC 20. And in total, on the Waves Exchange, there are that many. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 10. Yeah? Now, what I'm going to say to you is this: 32K TV, dual energy are just a small number of things I created. And at the time, what you needed was a consensus vote, i.e., 100 people. And you basically had to say to those 100 people, if you give me a yes, then I will gift you an amount, 10, 20 or more thousand of what you want to go onto the market. Let's say it was 32K TV. Yeah. So you would say to somebody else within the community on Waves about, right, this is a ERC 20. There's a big 900 word description, tells you everything. And if you give me a yes vote, you get 10,000, 20,000 or 30,000 of said asset. And back then, there was a lot of stuff going on. I mean, a lot of stuff. Trouble at work, etc. Yeah. I became injured from work in March of 2017. Ripped this by trying to open a blooming window on the bus. Because back then, I was wearing contact lenses. Yeah. And I had those nice sunglasses. The ones where, the skiers used to use. And I decided, okay, I'm going to try a different method. It took me a while because of the upheaval to learn. The ERC 20 is written in solidity. So I left it. It's still there. It's just sitting on the back burner. Yeah. And people turn around and say, oh, well, you've got this, you've got that, you've got the other. It needs investment. They all do. Yeah. And obviously, when I lost my job, yeah, hold on, one sec. When I lost my job, I lost everything. Totally. Gone. Why? Because of one man who hated with a passion. He hated because I do YouTube. At that time, yeah, I was doing products, videos for the missus because she didn't, she didn't do that. She had another plan. So let's get back to it. Now, tight laws, strict laws came in. Those laws were then cemented. But here's a caveat for you. I don't know what the word caveat means, but I've just said it. The caveat was this: adoption. Right? Now, currently, as I sit, talk to you, 11% of the whole of the United Kingdom actually know about cryptocurrency. People I speak to every day when I'm out and about. What? What's that? Never heard of it. I'll just say this to you. Educate yourself. Learn. I had to. Now, this strict law set down by the Financial Conduct Authority and the Prudential. You sign up and let's say here's one for you. Yeah? Kraken Exchange. You go to create an account so you can buy cryptocurrency. And it says to you, when you've done all of this information, shown them your driving license, done all that, and it says suitability test. Yeah? Suitability test is this: how much are you going to invest? And what it also says is this: the risk. The risk. Oh my God, there's a risk. There is a risk in any investment. That's true. Whether you're buying something like BT, one of the FTSE 100 shares, FTSE 250, there is a risk. Yes. But here's what can't happen. Okay? It says on every single exchange, Coinbase is locked. Yeah? Binance is locked. Can't access them. I have accounts there. Can't touch it. And the reason why, this suitability test, because you are meant to fail. Because it tells you this: if you want to invest under £50, you can't. Gone. Now, if you turn around and you say, I won the lottery, I'm gonna put 50,000 or more into a cryptocurrency, welcome in. Come on, welcome in. And there is your account. The common man in the street, yeah, Do they have £50,000 stashed down the back of the sofa? No, is the answer. And to the Financial Conduct Authority, you can be very, very strict. You can. However, as I mentioned earlier, 2017, Her Majesty was sitting on the throne. Now, sadly, Her Majesty succumbed to COVID and she was old. Like my mum succumbed to COVID because of, my mum was old and my mum had a bag of medication like this, different tablets, yeah, which lowered the immune system. Now, what I want to say to you is this. His Royal Highness, the King, said when he opened Parliament, he wanted to invite investment to the United Kingdom, which stands, to what the Financial Conduct Authority and the Prudential has said. You have to do this suitability. You have to pass this suitability. Which is why, like I've said to you lot, my subscribers, my beautiful friends, Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, they're locked. Can't touch anything. That is wrong. And that, to the Financial Conduct Authority and the Prudential and all of these agencies set up, yeah, that, sorry to tell you, burst your bubble, but that's illegal. Because if the common man wants to invest in something or wants to spend his or hers honest earned money, they can't. Because if you go into that suitability test and say, I'm going to be spending up to £50 worth of GBP, you will not pass the suitability test. And isn't that crazy? The common man or woman, because man and woman, yeah, you're over the age of 21. Crypto's not for children. It's adults. Yeah? And these strict rules, you've got on one hand His Majesty the King asking you to come in, and then you've got, on the other hand, you have to pass a suitability test to be able to get onto the platform and do something. That's why you will never win. You're just driving people offshore. Now, since then, I have expanded. I now have still got the ERC 20. Yes. They will come onto the markets. Yes. and I now have meme coins. Now, some people ask me, right? I have small little percentages. BNB, Coinbase, and XRP, and others. Small. But I still have them. I just can't access any of it. Even Polygon. Polygon. Why is that important? Because Polygon opens up NFT. That's a non-fungible token. Or here's the best way of putting it. Do you remember that picture where I've got my Newcastle United top on? I've got Black Beauty. Took a picture, put that through a filter on Canva and digitalized it. Changed it to become an NFT. 10,000 NFTs because I went through Polygon. So there we go. Now, if those in power at the Financial Conduct Authority, Prudential, release that stupid, because it's stupid, suitability test, the common man in the street can stick a little bit of money into digital currency. Because currently, anything below 1,000, you've got not a chance at all. Your account is locked. So, there we go. Now, will they? Your guess is as good as mine. But one thing I will tell you is this. Like I said in my previous video, sometimes people win the lottery and they go absolutely wild. Mansions, fleets of all these exotic toys. No. I'd rather build a business and employ people. And there's one reason why. And it's this. Life is short. Tomorrow is not given. If you wake up, you thank the Lord because you woke up. You might be in pain, but you have woke up. And you can carry on doing what you've been doing. So, like I say, to you all, go and try. Go and try and create an account, and then say, okay, I'm gonna buy 50 quid's worth of whatever, whether it's BTC, Ethereum, or any of the others. But try doing it and see that effect, which is, sorry, you can't do that. There's even this stupid rule. Calm down. Yeah, 24 hours. You can't do anything for 24 hours. Well, if the price of what you want does that, and you've got, let's say you've got 30 quid, 40 quid, and the price goes up, you're getting less of that than you would if there was no 24-hour calm down. Anyway, thanks for watching, and please spread the word. You see, I think this, our new king, King Charles III, wants to bring investment to the United Kingdom. I want to bring investment to the United Kingdom. But please sort the rules so the common person can buy. Cheers for watching. Smash the like, subscribe, and spread the word. Thank you.